Can I put this down a little bit? There we go. Happy Sunday, y'all. Hug. Some of y'all didn't even get a hug this week, but I'm giving you a virtual hug. Hug somebody today, y'all. Hug somebody. Somebody didn't get a hug all week and they pushed through. Give somebody a hug today. Anyway, y'all, so I wanted to get on here. I'm hoping y'all will check this live out, but it was something that was on my heart. I was getting dressed today, getting ready to go to the farmer's market, and that's like my self-care Sunday is going to the flea market. I'm sorry, not the flea market, the farmer's market, because for one, the fruit and the vegetables just taste better. I love being amongst like entrepreneurs. I mean, because farmers and they're entrepreneurs, like they out here grinding Sunday through Sunday. They don't take no days off. And I just love being around like entrepreneurship, just people that can talk about things that they love, their passions. I just love all of that. And so that's like if you want to just go and start a network, y'all, farmers markets are really great. Even flea markets are great because you meet really passionate people that can talk all day about what they do, what they love. They can talk to you about their own personal grind. They could tell you what works for them. So I feel like that's a great way to start networking if you're kind of intimidated of like being at business, like business events or things where you have to dress up or, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, that was a plug. That was a shout out. But I wanted to check in with y'all. So I was getting dressed today and I realized that it's been 6 months since my breakup. I was in a relationship. It was a little bit over 7-8 months. But it was really like I woke up this morning, I was ironing my clothes and I was getting myself ready and I was like, wow, okay, it's been 6 months. And I am just like so proud of myself because 6 months ago I was in a really messed up headspace. And when you got kids and you going through things, like you don't really have time. You don't have no downtime. You don't have no time to really like sit and process what's going on with you. Like I said, the breakup for me, it was kind of unexpected, but again, because I wasn't setting boundaries for myself and I was kind of like avoiding red flags because I was trying to be this compassionate and like I was just being myself, right? But that in the end kind of like didn't work in my favor in a way. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. 6 months ago, I was like in a really bad headspace. Like I was feeling really sad. I was like questioning a lot of things, questioning my value. I was actually questioning like who's really a friend? Does everybody just come into your life to just take from you and not, not pour back into you? Like I had all these mental things that I was trying to push through, plus work, work with kids, plus deal with my kids, plus still, stay healthy and think about my mental and my physical health, y'all. It was just a lot. And so at the time I was only seeing my therapist like once a month and I was just like, just kind of playing with it, but not really serious about therapy. And so when I had the breakup, she was like, okay, Tamika, her name is Marsha. Shout out to Marsha. Marsha was like, okay, Tamika, check this out. You're going to need to start coming a little bit more consistently now. Cause now we got to break down a lot of the things that you may just need to you may need to like see that you need boundaries. Y'all, I'm in such a better, like peaceful mind state. Just 6 months ago, y'all, I was crying. My cousin that came and picked me up one day and me and him went to a restaurant and we got the vibes going. I said, cause I got to step out. I go into the restaurant bathroom, y'all. I'm just crying my eyes out. I was just so hurt. Like, it was like a tough thing for me, but I still showed up for myself as much as I could. But so in therapy, now I'm seeing my therapist every week and she like, tell me more. She's always like, tell me more. Tell me more. What, she's always asking these questions where I'm kind of avoiding certain things. And she's just like, no, let's get back to that. So what I do want to encourage everyone and anyone who is, especially if you're like over 30, maybe over 25. I don't even want to put an age thing on it because therapy should be for everyone. But I just know in our era, you weren't encouraged to talk about your personal business, male or female. In my area, 77s, those babies. It's like, you don't talk to nobody. You don't tell them your business. You need to suck it up. You need to deal with it. You've been programmed to not acknowledge your feelings. You've been programmed to not acknowledge patterns. You've been programmed to not believe that you deserve for someone to hear you out. You've been programmed to believe like your feelings are like everybody. Suck it up and get over it. Everybody feels sad. You're just so programmed to suppress your day-to-day stuff that you're dealing with. And a therapist is just, because my brother gave me this analogy and it was so amazing. My brother was like, we'll go to the doctor when we're feeling sick. We'll take our car to the shop when it needs to be worked on, but we won't go to a head doctor to get our heads fixed. I mean, like, in so many words, y'all know what I mean? Like, we'll go to see every specialist to work on everything that we need to work on in our lives, but we won't go see a therapist to go talk about our mental and our emotional health. And so when my brother brought that up to me, I was like, damn, okay, I'm not going to play with therapy. Like, I'm going to really get serious. Y'all, when I tell you, I am in such a peaceful, more state of mind after going to therapy because, first of all, your mama can't help you. Okay? She dealing with her own shit. Your siblings only know you for what you are, what you can bring to them. That's just what it is. Your friends is dealing with a lot. You can't expect, not even your pastor, not even your Bible. Sorry. You need to talk to someone besides God because that's what they're there for. So my therapist started pointing out to me, y'all, and I remember the breakthrough specifically. I was talking about something and she's asked me, they want you to go back. They want you to, let's talk about your childhood. Okay. First of all, we gotta open up about our childhood. I know that might feel uncomfortable or you feel like you're, disrespecting someone or you can find a way to still be respectable about it and still get the point across. But if you got to open up about your grandma Meemaw who was mean to you, about your, you know what I'm saying? About your uncle who washed your mouth out with soap, just whatever it is, y'all, you don't think that stuff affects you, but it 100% affects you, especially if it was done negatively. And especially if it wasn't like you didn't feel any like love or compassion after, the offense was done, you're going to feel some kind of way. So anyway, Marsha was asking me to go back to my childhood, and days later, I was telling her about the breakup and what was going on. And she was like, Tamika, based on just what I'm hearing you say, you have this pattern of XYZ. And these particular people did XYZ. And this is, y'all, when she said that to me, like the tears just started like rolling down my face. When she hit that moment of just like, this is what I see. This is based on what I hear you saying. Y'all, I knew exactly what she was talking about, but when she said it, it made me feel like somebody actually sees me. Somebody actually sees me. And it's hard to be seen, especially like for me, when you're an attractive person, people just only like to look at your looks. And I've been dealing with this my whole life. I'm always the pretty girl. I'm always the light-skinned girl. I'm always the, whatever, the attractive person. People want to come always talk to you, but they don't want to get to know you. And I have struggled with this my entire life. People don't want to get to know me. They just want to be around my energy. They want to talk to me because I look attractive. But that was the first time when I was in therapy that I felt like an adult actually heard me and saw me. So once I had that breakthrough moment, I had to get off the phone. I was like, Marsha, I gotta go. Thank you for the therapy session. I got off the therapy session, and y'all, when I tell you, that shit was sitting with me for days, what she had said to me. I mean, it was so clear what she had said to me, what she showed me kind of where my trauma had started or where it was continuing, where the trauma and who the trauma was continuing from. And I'm thinking I'm an adult, like I can handle these situations. But at the end of the day, I wasn't handling the situations very well. I was operating from out of trauma. So 6 months ago, when I experienced that trauma with breaking up, everything else, the trauma was just piling on top. Everything was just piling on. Grief from losing my cousin 3 years ago, grief from losing my dad, grief from burying my grandfather. Y'all, when I'm telling you, it was just overpacking when I was doing that breakup. Everything was coming up. So after my next session, I got back on there and I told her, I said, Marsha, you really had me fucked up last week, what you said to me about where you feel like my trauma came from. I said, but I really appreciate it. Now I want to work on it. And so the last 6 months, me and my therapist have been working on boundaries for myself, because she was like, Tamika, one thing that trauma has caused you to do is that you don't know how to create safe boundaries for yourself. She said, and I don't know why. It seems like you haven't been taught it, or maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you see everybody around you just not having boundaries, which is so true. She said, but for you, you're going to set boundaries for yourself. And this is how you do it. Y'all, when I tell you the boundaries have given me a certain type of peace that I have never had. So I just want y'all to know, like, therapy is what it is. And if this is something that you've been thinking about or you're not sure about, here is your green light. Please go, men and women. I'm looking for a therapist for my 10-year-old. Please go and get therapy, because the problem is you can't see your patterns. You just know that's what you do. But the therapist can help you point out your patterns. That's what it is. We're in patterns of things. We're in patterns of trauma. We're in patterns of bad eating. We're in patterns of gossiping. We're in patterns of picking unhealthy partners. We're in patterns of having a lot of sexual partners. We're in patterns of being withdrawn and not feeling safe to be amongst people. We're in all these patterns, but you don't know that per se. But when I went to my therapist and she started picking out and showing me patterns, and this is what you need to know as an adult moving forward. If you want to evolve, let me just say that again. If you don't want to evolve and you just want to be sitting where you sitting and doing what you're doing, yeah, therapy is going to be a waste of time for you. You got your mind made up. You YOLO. This is just the way I am. That, go ahead. But I'm talking about those who are seeing things and feeling something, and you like, man, something gotta give. Something gotta move for me. I'm feeling stuck, but I'm not for sure. I'm not getting along with this person and that person. I'm having problems on my job. I don't like this. I don't like that. I can't lose weight. Sometimes I'm telling y'all, you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to point out what is going on with you. And it's not going to happen in one session. I'm telling you, it didn't happen for me for months, because I had been seeing Marsha way before my breakup. But like I said, I was only doing it like randomly. But it took us a good maybe 2 months to finally get to what the issue was. And because I was also like bringing so much into the session at one time, I was just like jumping from here, jumping from there, jumping from here, acting like I was good, but I really wasn't, because there's a pattern to act like you're all good, to act like nothing's bothering you, to act like it's just one of those things, to act like your feelings aren't valid, to act like you need to be a mother first and slaving for everybody but yourself. I've been acting like I'm supposed to be the last person to get taken care of after everything is done. I don't deserve sleep. I don't deserve rest. I don't deserve a vacation. All this stuff, I've been programmed. I can't speak for nobody else, but I have been programmed to believe that Tamika should be at the bottom of everything. And then whatever is left, then that's how that's what you're going to operate off of. But I just want to encourage everyone again to find therapy, and it's not going to magically pop up in your lap. You're going to have to make a conscious effort to talk to people and find out, who are you seeing? Who's what? Go on the internet. It's not going to magically, nothing is going to magically happen. But what is for certain is death. Everything else, you gotta make a choice about it. So I'm just glad to say, y'all, I'm so serious. I feel so much at peace. Like, even the people that I'm attracting now, whew, God, I thank you. Even the people that I'm attracting now, y'all, they are finally like looking at me, asking me questions. How are you? Like, really seeing me. And it feels really good because I feel like I can be poured into now. But again, I've been, you know what I'm saying, attracting these people now based on my boundaries, right? Based on what I have to make a conscious effort to say no to certain people, to not pick up the phone for certain people, to not overextend my good energy to people, know when to not to exclude myself from invites, or, you know, you gotta pour into you in order to, it's yeah, Mika, it wasn't even that I forget. I just didn't think you did it. It was no program in me to be like, oh, okay, Tamika Havas, like, today is self-care. I don't give a damn what my kids is doing up in that house. I made my daughter some food and I'm like, I'm out. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're gonna eat. All I know is there's water in there and some other stuff in there. I'm out. I'm finna do me all day today. My daughter can text me in the case of an emergency, but when they know Sundays, I'm talking about, I'm just doing this within my 6 months of the breakup and having the therapist, and the therapist saying boundaries are healthy for you. Boundaries are necessary for you. Boundaries are going to be a part of your healing and your growth. Y'all, I ain't had no boundaries. I was just saying yes to everything and thinking I need to show up to everything and exerting myself to a certain degree. To a certain degree is what I'm saying. But even in that relationship that I had, like, the spirit spoke to me, say, you was doing too much. You was putting way too much into that. You was putting way too much into that. And, you know, it was the feeling. It was the feeling like, okay, I've waited this time. This person has came into my life. This person is being consistent. We getting along. Like, it was looking good. So I'm just going, you know, I'm just going in. And the spirit spoke to me and said, you're doing too much. You was putting way too much into that. I had to pull you out of that. That ain't your purpose. I was like, and even that was hard. I was like, but why? You know, and then my therapist was like, check this out. He was a weak man. I'm just going to tell you straight up. She was like, he was a weak man. And she was like, don't get at no more oxygen. Let that literally suffocate. Suffocate that situation. You put that mask on and you revive yourself. And I was like, let's go, Marsha. And so 6 months now, y'all. I wish him the best. He can't come back. I don't care. I don't care what he would say, what he would do. Even if he went to therapy, he couldn't come back. Because I'm just not in that space no more. So anyway, I encourage all of y'all to talk to someone. And be prepared to, well, not even be prepared, because they're going to prepare you. But be consistent. Be consistent. And just be excited about, you know, just be excited about your evolution. It's not going to feel good. I mean, I'm telling you, when she told me some of the patterns that I was doing and who was controlling me and how they were controlling me, y'all, I was sick to my stomach. I damn near wanted to throw up. I cried for like 2 days and was like, what the hell? I'm fucking in my 40s. Why don't I know this? How come I couldn't see that? But anyway, y'all, I just had to get on here and encourage y'all today, because so many of us need to sit with someone and let them just point out. And it's not like they pointing out something wrong. Like, don't think you're going to a therapist because there's something wrong with you. You just need to know how to love yourself. Where you're not loving yourself, where you're putting other people's needs before yours. I feel like that's what therapy has done to me. Therapy has given me a new blueprint of how to love myself. And it's just, I feel like it's benefiting the others around me. And those who are not benefiting is because they was the problem. They was the one I was not creating boundaries with. And they was just taking. Wasn't saying, you know what? Tamika do be doing a lot. Let me help her out. Let me do this. No, they was just like more energy from Tamika, more time from her. Let me not worry about what she got going on because it's all about me. I was dealing with that, y'all. But therapy definitely, I'm telling y'all, 6 months ago, I was on some real revenge type shit. Because I didn't like what that nigga had did to me. I didn't like how it ended. I didn't even like the red flags that I had ran right through. And that was coming. I was like, Tamika, why you let this slide? Why you let that slide? Why you do this? Why you do that? And therapy pretty much, like, she really pointed it out. Like, this is your pattern, you know, because of this. And I was like, you're right. So anyway, I see my therapist every Monday. Y'all be consistent too. Pick a time and a day. Don't let them pressure you. You pick a time, you pick a date, and you be consistent with it. I do it on my days off, which is Monday. I'm not rushing. They don't want you to talk in the car. So let me also make that clear. Don't try to do therapy in the car. Don't do that. You need to be sitting somewhere still, quiet. If you could do it Zoom or in face-to-face, but don't try to do it over the phone, and definitely don't try to do it while you're distracted, while you at the bank, in the drive-thru, ordering Chick-fil-A. Don't do therapy like that. Take it like this is your personal time to get to the root of what's going on with you. And of course, I share good stuff with my therapist. I mean, I'd be sending her pictures when I was in Mexico. I've sent her pictures of me in Jamaica. We out, you know, having a good time. She even have recently heard about some of the gentlemen that I've been talking to, and she's just like, okay, he seems deep, you know. I'm just giving her everything, the good, the bad, and in between. I don't talk to my mom about these things. I talk to my brother about some things, but there's nobody really that I feel comfortable talking to and handling me right now except my therapist, because the same people that I have been talking to are some of the people that I have not been having boundaries with. So to go back and try to get some healing from the same places that I got wounded from, it ain't gonna work. So the reason why I'm seeing a therapist, because I'm allowing her to help me handle myself better. Okay, I love y'all. If y'all have any questions about therapy, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what insurance she takes. I don't know, because it's all a part of my employee package at my job. So I couldn't give y'all anything, but I could give y'all her number and maybe you can call her and ask her what insurance she takes. But honestly, I don't know. I know Kaiser has it. I know they have, and just be clear, like maybe some of you have tried and you're like, well, I tried and that didn't work. Okay. You can't stop there. You have to be consistent. You got to be consistent with healing you. Okay. You can't just be like, well, I had this person left. Find another one. That's life. If your doctor right now go on maternity leave, guess what? They're going to give you another one. So you got to just be okay with saying, you know what, my healing and me breaking through some of these traumas and just getting to know myself, I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to do the work. You do the work and then you let them do the rest, if that makes sense. But just don't give up because you tried one or twice. You have to. I think I had maybe 2 before Marsha, and neither one of them worked out. I don't have nothing to say about it. It's like they wasn't a fit for me. But I'm just like, well, I'm not just going to do it because I didn't find anyone. And this person is gone. And I don't feel like telling a whole new person something. Well, you're not ready. And I pray something detrimental, devastating doesn't come, because now you're adding that onto your plate and still not talking to anyone about it. So if you're dealing with like grief, like me, if you're dealing with just having an entrepreneurship mind where it's just constantly on the go, you're ready to date, you're divorcing, you know, it's maybe, let me tell you, multiple issues on top of issues. And then you got to wake up and smile and tell yourself, I love you. It's hard to love yourself if you don't know who you are. If you don't know the patterns that you need to recreate for yourself, you don't know. I love y'all. Have a good Sunday.